9 ways of dealing with difficult people. In my life, I put 9 pathways, 9 tips and tricks and tactics that we could use in dealing with those difficult people that we can't get out of our life. It could be our boss, an important client, a family member, in-laws. Join me for these 9 tips. As you could see from the chart, there are 3 levels. We start with the inner, then the outer, and then the higher perspective. As we go into the inner, the first and most important thing is to understand that we are not perfect. We look at the other side and we say, how could he keep doing that? How could she be so annoying? I've already told her. But are we that perfect? When we look and remember our own flaws, it evens the playing field. It puts things into perspective and it humbles us to see other ways forward. At the end of the day, we should offer the same grace and the same compassion that when it comes to our own perspective. How funny is it that when it comes to us and we make mistakes, we quickly look over them. But when it comes to someone else's flaws, we just dig in. And first and foremost, know that we are not perfect and neither is the other side. And so we shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't be annoyed, frustrated. So we should realize and expect it, just like we have flaws, the other person has flaws as well. Just that alone can put us on the right path for making those interactions that much easier. Think about it. How often do we do something and put ourselves in a situation that makes us regret? How did we get there? Most often what happens is that we lose sight of the bigger picture. We lose sight of what the whole mission is to begin with. Our pride gets in the way and we forget about the bigger picture. Think about it. You can go on a vacation. You ask yourself, what's the mission? What's the purpose of this vacation? To get closer with my wife, to get closer with my children, or a family member. In the middle of the vacation, something comes up. It could be something gets canceled, there's a disagreement about which restaurant to go to or which activity to do, and we find ourselves taking 5 steps back in the relationship instead of taking 2 steps forward. The whole purpose of the vacation was what? In order to have a good time so we can bond. But we lose sight of the mission. In business, you see this clearly. You have a client who's annoying, who's frustrating, where you've multiple times have told them what you like, what you don't like, and you have to repeat yourself. But somehow, because there's money on the line, we keep the peace, because we keep the focus of where we're going. In our personal relationships, we should do the same thing. Focusing mission over ego. Remembering, why am I here? What's the point of me even showing up? Because if it's worth me showing up, it might be worth for me not to get annoyed, because I'm focusing on that bigger picture. The third thing I can do on this level is sometimes just stay silent. Look back at all those other times where you have spoken up, where you have got into an altercation, where you've been frustrated and you showed it. Did it help? If you're stuck in this relationship anyways, ask yourself, what benefit is there for me to speak up? There might be. We don't have to always hold our feelings back. It's important to communicate, but to be very measured and sometimes realize that the wisest thing you could do is not say anything at all. We're not saying to hide your emotions. It's important to have crucial conversations, to bring it up, but timing matters. Will it really do anything right now? You're at the Shabbat table, you're on vacation. Does it really help? My rule of thumb is 3 times, stay quiet. If the same issue persists and comes up, then schedule a time to talk to that person. As we move on from being the inner wins, those wins of remembering our own flaws, those wins of focusing on the bigger picture and staying silent, one part that always eats me up is being so frustrated to not get it. I almost despise the person. It gets so deep when they continue with their annoying and difficult ways of dealing. You start despising the person. And over here, we have to have outer compassion. On this outer level, when we've zoomed out, we have to appreciate that there's the person and there's the action. We almost want to call the person evil, disgusting. It makes a big difference if we're able to stop, slow down, and separate the person from the action. This is so important when it comes to parenting. Calling the child a bad boy or a bad girl is so different than saying what you did is bad, your behavior is not acceptable. Because when you talk about the person, that's the core, that's the essence. And when you damage that relationship, boy, is it hard to repair. Separating the person from the action. Saying, I don't understand, why are her behaviors like this? Why are her habits like this? As opposed to saying, why is he like this? Why does he have these habits? When we separate these actions from the person, you're able to connect on a spiritual soul level because you've separated the body from the person. When you've despised the person so much and been disgusted by them, it shows on your face, and that person disconnects, and it's so much harder to reconnect. As we move on, if you're stuck in that place of disgust, of annoyance, taking a step back and taking a critical look at yourself and saying to yourself, does this person actually have the ability to be what I want them to be? To be a very, very honest look and see their potential. What do they have within them that could grow? This has two benefits. Number one, if you realize and say, you know what, this person does not have the capacity to do what I want him to do, to behave a certain way that I want him to behave, how much easier it is just to give up and just accept them for who they are. But more importantly, if you look at them, you size them up, and you say to yourself, you know what, this guy is good at this. This is their strength, this is their weakness. I get frustrated at the weakness, I accept it and say they can't grow here. But perhaps there are other places in your life that you can grow with them, that you can connect with them. No one says you have to connect to a person at all levels. It could be that they like to talk about the news, so you talk about the news. They could be very smart in this area. They could be really fun in this area. They could be good at sports. If you engage them on the places that they're strengths, that can help the bond that will have other places for onboarding and on-ramping that connection. Taking that honest look and say, what is their potential? For the good and for the bad, will make your expectations in line much more. Up to now, we've said to yourself how to connect, how to open up and be softer and be more flexible. But yet, we have to have boundaries. Boundaries are so important. And if you don't set them, difficult, annoying people will walk all over you. It's just the nature of things. If you do not know how to set limits, people will take advantage of you. And so, having a right measured approach, when to answer your phone, when to show up, acceptable behaviors, red lines, because that will make the relationship that much better. Because you will not allow them to get to your flood point, to your emotional flooding point where you might lose it and say something you don't want to say. And so have boundaries. If they go over something, just say, I need to excuse myself. When they keep coming over, you have to put boundaries. Letting them walk over you and take advantage of your flexibility is also problematic. Building your muscle to say no will build your muscles to say yes in other places. We've worked on our inner self. We've worked on how to deal with the outer side. Now we could take it higher. As cliche as it sounds, we are not in this together. Assuming that you believe in God, that we have a divine universal energy that helps us, praying, setting intentions, setting goals, and asking for assistance from above will set your mode so much more deeper. Because now you're bringing God into it. He will always be there for you. He will be there to give you your patience. Asking God for patience, asking God for help can transform your entire relationship because now you're taking it on a much higher level. Moving on to embodying calm leadership. Sometimes we believe that the other person has to be on the same level as us. It might be that you are actually better. You are wiser, you are more patient. And that's where embodying calm leadership can take place. In my life, I've realized when I've battled it out and duked it out head to head, I've realized that if I elevate myself and I model the behavior that I want to be modeled, what happens is the other person follows. Not taking the bait, taking the high road, staying silent, being humble can be infectious. It can be something that spreads with all those around you because you are showing that you can do it. You can be calm. You can lead. You can be non-divisive. You can be a person that can be modeled by those around you. It might not be the first time, but try it first, second, third time. It might work. Again, as we look from the higher perspective, as Jews, we believe that everything happens for a reason. Obviously, we have to put our foot down and draw lines in the sand when we're being taken advantage of. We have to do everything in our power to improve our relationships that matter. But for me, I've realized that like Avraham Avinu, Abraham, who was tested, so many tests, perhaps these are tests in my life. This is something that I have to overcome. And with every difficult relationship that I overcome, I am that much more of a better person. And perhaps it's a test. Because it's easy to act religious. It's easy to read one-off poems and read memes of how good it is to be nice. But let's be honest, our relationships are the biggest litmus test about how humble, gracious, and merciful we are. And these difficult people that come in our lives are just that. They could be difficult tests. Just like you would go to a trainer, to a gym, to work out your muscles. And without resistance, you don't grow. Without the weight on the barbell, just picking up toothpicks will not build muscle, will not build strengths, and will not tell you if you have grown. These interactions, these relationships, for me, these difficult people, these trials, these tests, these difficult moments where I hold myself back, I elevate myself, I humble myself, I look to grow the other person. These are the biggest tests for anything that I seek to practice. I've learned that treating these challenges as opportunities for growth, because challenges, setbacks, and difficult moments within relationships that I would rather not have, but I have to have, that's allowed me to grow and to really put the pedal to the metal, to the test of, am I gracious? Am I merciful? How godly can I be? Like Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and the foremothers, they all had their tests in relationships as well. And that's where your true sense comes out. It's easy to pray. It's easy to learn. It's easy to forward memes that sound great and sound good. But the real test is when you show up and you overcome it with these 9 tests. If you would like a review of these show notes, I have a PDF you can download in the notes below. You could print it, you could share it, and you could like the video. Thank you.